I guess this is question 2 of 2016 grade 10, okay? And it will always, again, as you see, this is the drill, be about solving for x or solving algebraic equations. So we start with in question 1 with expressions where we factorize and simplify them. Now we get to solving for x, okay? Now, guys, it is very easy to be tempted here and try do all funny things of dividing by x and all that. But really what you've got to do is to realize that this equation is not in standard form. So you've got to actually set it in standard form. So what is that in standard form? I have to simplify the x squared minus x. So I'm undoing factorization. Minus 20 equals to 0. So guys, what are the factors of 20, okay, that have a difference of 1? And maybe you can just write them. There's 1 and 20. There's 2 and 10. There's 5 and 4, right? And I think that's about it. So you can see that's what we want. So x is all good. It's x squared, so it's all nice and easy. And then, so which one should have a negative and which one should have a positive? It is the big one. So 5 should have a negative because the middle term is negative, and then that's it. All right. So therefore, x, we know now that x will be 5 or x will be minus 4. I omitted a step here that I thought it's too obvious that x minus 5 equals to 0 or x plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, that's one step that I really thought it's too obvious. So now we have 2.1.2, 3x minus 2 all over 2 is equal to x plus 1. And again, I need this in standard form. So I'm going to multiply by the LCD, which is 2. And if I do that, I have 2 into x plus 1. Okay, this is 3x minus 2, 2x plus 2. And we can see this one is linear, very much easy. I group my like terms. This is going to be, maybe let me just write it. That is going to be 2 plus 2. We can see that x equals to 4. Maybe one thing that I should mention, guys, to be sure of your solutions, always test them. So what you could have done here is to substitute x equals to 5 and see really if you will get 20, or substitute x equals to minus 4 and see really if you will get 20. Of course, this whole thing here, it should really work out. I mean, let's see, 5 into what will be 5 minus 1, 4. That will give us 20. Now we're going to have 4. What is this? 4 minus 1 is what? 3. Sorry, actually it was supposed to be minus 4. So you're going to have minus 4 into minus 4 minus 1. This is minus 4 into minus 5. And you can see negative, negative. So we get 20. So you can do the same thing with the 4 and test your solution to see really if you have solved properly. Of course, you would use your calculator to save time. And yeah, you are there. Solve for m. Here is an inequality that is given, and we are told m is a real number. So let's see what we can do in this case. So you can either do this, you can have minus 4 less equals to minus 1 over 2m, right? And solve that alone, and then have this, that solve that alone, okay? Or otherwise, you can just do this and solve it as it is, okay? So I'm going to multiply by 2 throughout, and I'm going to have minus 8 less than equals to minus m less than 10, okay? That's multiplying by 2. Then secondly, I don't want minus m, I want an n. So I'm going to divide or multiply by negative 1, which way you look at it. And this is where you've got to remember that whenever you divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1 across an inequality sign, you actually have to change the inequality sign. So this thing is going to become 8, but it's going to now be greater equals to m. This one here will also be greater equals to minus 10. But this is not a way to write an equality. So let's see, you are saying minus 10 is, m is greater than minus 10, and you are saying 8 is greater or equals to m. A simple way to write this is to note that this m greater than minus 10 is the same as saying minus 10 is less than m. And saying 8 is greater than that is same as saying m is actually less than or equals to 8. So you can see we have m in the middle. So really the nice way to write this, guys, is to say, well, minus 10 is less than m, which is less than or equal to 8. That's it. Write down the answer to question 2.2.1 in interval notation. Okay, this is an interval, but it's just using inequality signs. So if we want to write it in an interval notation, we'll say, well, m is an element, or m is in the interval minus 10, and we can see because of that, and then to 8, but here we must use a square bracket because that sign there says less than or equal to. So this is a very important lesson. Strictly less than, we use round bracket, and then in less than equal to or greater than equal to, we must use the square bracket. Okay, hope you have taken note of that. Finally, guys, let us solve some simultaneous equations here. But let's start here with what 2.3.1 is saying. We are given that 4x squared minus y squared is 171, and that 2x minus y equals to 9. We must calculate the value of what? 2x plus y. So what I would really do here in this case is to see where 2x plus y will come from. You working with this is just gonna be good as looking for a corner inside a circle. So, but doing that for me looks good because I can see that's difference of 2 squares. So I'm gonna go ahead and factorize this. So if you look at this, guys, we are given that it is equal to 171. 4 is the same as 2. So you can see this thing is that minus that. And yes, this is 171. So this thing here is actually 2x minus y into 2x plus y. Difference of 2 squares. This is 171. But we know that 2x minus y is 9. So, and the question says calculate the value. So there shouldn't be an x and y in finding the value, okay? So this is 9 times 2x plus y, which is 171. So we can see 2x plus y is 171 over 9. And we can see that in the calculator, if that is going to be a whole number, yes, so 2x plus y is 19. Simple as that, okay? So this is just to take you away from being stereotyped when coming to such questions. So that's it, guys. We know 2x plus y is 19. So let's now solve simultaneously, okay? So in solving simultaneously, maybe I should write that this thing here is 19. It might come in handy when we solve simultaneously. My first equation is 2x, not 2y, 2x minus y is equal to 9. That's equation 1. Equation 2, 4x squared minus y squared is equal to 171. And this is what? Equation 2. If I make y subject of the formula from 1, I can't really use elimination at this point because really you can see the variables have different degrees, okay? So I've got to use some form of substitution. So you can see that y is going to be 2x minus 9, okay? So whenever I substitute this in 2, and I'll call this 1.1, I sub this in equation 2, okay? If I substitute this in equation 2, what am I gonna get? I'm gonna have 4x squared minus, where I see y, I must put that thing there, minus 2x minus 9. This is squared, and that's 171. Of course, it's gonna be 4x squared minus, Now, this is where you guys need to really be cautious. Okay, so I'm gonna do this quickly here. This is gonna be 4x squared. Then 2x times 9 is minus 18, but I know I have to add those. So I'm gonna have, I'm gonna multiply by 2 or add them up together. That's okay. And then plus 81. So that's me expanding the brackets without really having to write everything down. Of course, you would have done it in a way that is convenient for you. So you can see now 4x squared now. This is why this bracket was important, because I can now see that this must be minus 4x squared, but this here should be 36x, and then this should be minus 81, and that is 171. So this takes care of that, and I have 36 equals to 171 plus 81. So what is 171 plus 81? That should be 252, and then this is 36x. Now let's see if this can go in there, and we can see that x equals to 7. Very simple. Finding y is a matter of substituting back into that thing, saying y equals to 2 times 7 minus 9. This is just 14 minus 9, which is 5. Okay, now guys, you can see we took a long path. I'm just saying in case you did not find the value here of x and y, which was 19, and then you would have really gone the long way. But let's see how can we use the value to solve this. So, of course, if you realize that this is 3 marks and it means you just don't really have to do a lot of work, you would have been quick to say, well, I've got 2 equations already in terms of y and x. This is 9, that's equation 1. The next one is the fact that 2x plus y is equal to 19, using the result that you've got previously. And here we can use elimination right away. I will just say equation 2 minus equation 1. So you can see 2x will take away 2x, and I'm going to have y minus y. And then 19 minus 9, that is a 10. And then you can see now I'm going to have 2y equals to 10. Therefore, y equals to 5. And that's it. The next thing that I do is to substitute into any of that equation to find the value of x. So let's take 1 because it is much simpler. 2x is 9 plus y, okay? And 2x then, it should be, what is y? 5. So this is 14, and so x equals to 7. So this was the whole point why they gave you that. And I deliberately started with the long method because I know some of you would have said, hey, I don't feel secure maybe using that. But just note that if you went the long route, you would have really actually wasted some time for yourself. Here, they really wanted you to realize that you actually have 2 equations already in terms of x and y, and you could have used those equations right away. Okay, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this and you have found this helpful. Remember our YouTube channel, Together for Us CITC, and you can go to a playlist that says past papers or past questions grade 10, and you will find solutions for the different papers that are there. So in case there are solutions you do not understand as you use the app, then of course here are the explanations. Cheers.